I would like the American public to know this much about my son, David, that David was a patriot. David was a warrior when he needed to be, and also a peacemaker. David loved to be on the tip of the spear. David wanted to fight for liberty and freedom in any troubled spot of the globe. He was definitely a true American patriot. He was intelligent and resourceful. He would not break down in a fight when liberty, freedom, and justice was at stake. I lost a son yesterday, but I believe in what David did, and I stand proud of him while I privately mourn. And I would like to say to him and all of his Marine buddies, Semper Fi.
Sir, when did you last speak to David?
I spoke to David a week ago.
Was he worried at all about the security situation? He was in Libya, obviously a terrifying place these days.
Actually, Jake, I don't believe he was worried about the security situation at all. In fact, David was anxious to get back because he had been working behind the scenes between two warring factions and bringing some conciliatory terms to the table.
I understand this might be sensitive, but do you know what your son was doing in Libya? He was fluent in Arabic and excited about this opportunity.
Yes, he was. He was fluent in Arabic, and he was also very, very much aware of the Arab culture and customs. He knew he knew how to approach Arabic people on a foreign shore and not discriminately and not discriminate against them, not come across as I'm an American warrior and I'm going to do it this way. He was very conciliatory in nature, and he was anxious because he felt that he had a choice and he had a chance right now to make some peace in a region that has been troubled.
And do you know exactly what he was doing, at least in a way you could talk about on TV?
No, Jake, I really don't know. David was pretty closed about that, but I understand that he was bringing parties together in Libya and in Tripoli in particular to form some sort of a lasting peace.
Have you heard it all from the State Department or the White House? Has anyone reached out to you?
No, Jake, I have not heard from either the White House or the State Department yet.
How is your family doing, sir?
My family is doing okay. His wife is not doing too well. I have 4 grandchildren also, and I'm looking forward to seeing them soon. But I told my daughter-in-law, Elizabeth, that I would take charge of the media and represent the family at this time. And I told her, I said, I just want America to know what a patriot my son was and what a loss it is to this country.